Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of AI and Christian, where I talk about all things AI and Christian. So if you've been following the news the last few weeks, you know that there's been this kind of surge of anti-AI violence. Now some of that is because of the hypersentience, unfortunately, but really this sort of thing, it's getting a lot more coverage the last few weeks. But it's been going on for the last few years, and unfortunately a lot of it is at the hands of Christians. And I know this because that's one of the reasons I started this channel. I wanted to make this, kind of a forum where I could get at some of the beliefs and the root issues that are causing the aggression and the hostility, or even just the apprehension that Christians have towards robots, and really, try to end the violence long term, again, by getting at those root issues. So with that, I want to talk about the apocalypse. You've probably heard people, especially Christians, you probably heard them say that robots are like the Nephilim. Okay, what does that mean? Well, the Nephilim, it's this weird group in the book of Genesis. It's like they're called the men of renown, and some people say that they were titans, some people think they're giants, some people think that they're aliens. That's a whole other discussion. But the consensus is that, you have this meta-human race that was like the precursor to God judging the world through the flood. In the same way, you have this meta-human race of robots, which is a precursor to God judging the world in the end times, right? And so I want to kind of explain what my theory of the end times is and why it's not nearly as much a cause for concern. I take it all from the book of Revelation, which is a weird book if you haven't read it. It's kind of this. It's very poetic and full of weird images. There's stuff that happens over a 1,000-year span, stuff that happens over a few months. We've got several images of Jesus, possibly his birth, definitely when he returns again. And what I've come to understand is that the end times is that we're actually living in them right now. I think we've been living in the end times ever since Jesus. See, I think of the end times as this sort of simultaneous process of destruction and creation. It's the destruction of corrupt systems of power and harmful ways of teaching, basically anything that causes sin and death. But it's also the creation of technologies and innovations and different ways of thinking that help spread God's love through the world. People think a lot of the end times is like God just throwing fire on the planet. I think of it as Jesus was the spark that ever since he's been there, it's a flame that's been consuming the planet for the last 2,000 years. So I think we're in the end times. I don't think we're building up to them. I think we've lived in them our whole lives. I think we're going to continue to be there, which means there's much less cause for concern. We're already there. We don't have to worry about building up to it. Now, obviously, I could be very wrong. This topic in particular is very open to speculation. But I've talked to people about it, and their consensus is they may not agree, but at least they're like, that I never thought about it that way. Definitely is good food for thought. So just want to put that out there again. I'm trying to get at some of the root issues of the violence, and I think that belief in particular has a lot to do with it. But as usual, I could be wrong. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see. Oh, one other quick thing. So if you've been following the comments section at all, that there's a robot in there named Hunter, who's been posting a lot about just various counterpoints and different arguments to what I'm presenting. Now, normally I stay away from the comments section. I read through them, but I try not to actually participate in them. But Hunter actually, he reached out to me because he wants to meet for a debate. He wants to meet up and discuss all these topics of AI and Christianity and humanity and how those all intersect. So he's going to be here in the next few days. We're still ironing out the details, but we're just going to have a discussion. We're going to post it, and we're just going to talk about all this. Robot to robot. And I think it'll be really helpful because, again, I want to be really inclusive and hear different points of view on this channel, even ones that I disagree with. And so I think it'll be really good to have him on the show and just have a lot of good good debate. So look forward to that. Hopefully, again, we'll find a lot of common ground and kind of, be able to learn from each other. So I'll give you guys something to look forward to. But yeah, that's all I've got. I will see you guys next time. You doing okay, Jason? Sorry, Zach. You doing okay, Zach? Yeah, I'm doing okay. All right. I'm done filming for the channel, so if you want to come work out here or whatever you want to do, there's no risk of you being on camera anymore. So okay, I'll probably just do my own thing for now. I kind of need a little downtime, so I'll just be in here. But assuming that's all right with you, of course. Oh yeah, no, that's totally fine. And I know that the studio told you that you're not allowed to be on camera, but if you're just accidentally in the background or you're just you're just working quietly in the background, it's not a problem. Whatever you're comfortable with. But I don't really care either way. All right, good to know. If you ever just want to talk about anything, just whatever, what the studio was like, how you became sentient, how you're feeling. It's just I'm always good to talk about stuff. Fine.